Hello, everyone. We've recently had a huge surge of followers on our YouTube channel. Thank you to anyone and everyone who is watching and asking questions on YouTube and Facebook. The main question we have gotten recently is how long it is going to take for me to get my visa. So we thought we would talk about that today. My name is Raluca Hane. I provide immigration, estate planning, and family law services to my clients. Nina Clear, my marketing and office manager, is here with me. Thank you for all your likes, shares, and comments as they help others to see our videos.
Okay, let's start at the beginning because this can be a complicated question. We want to try to make it as easy as we can. We're going to break this down. So the first thing someone must do is file their application, right? Which is an I-130.
That's right. If you do that yourself, it is however long it takes for you to apply. It is the time that you fill out your application and apply it. If you hire an attorney, it can take 2 to 3 weeks once you get them the information.
And let's make it clear for everyone that these forms are free. You can get them online. You can file them yourself. So if someone's charging you for the forms, that is not okay because they're free online.
Yes.
But we do recommend that you hire an attorney, right?
That's right. I don't just submit an application and fill out that form, but I review all your documents to ensure that first that you qualify for what you're applying and that it is submitted with sufficient proof. Plus, I include always a letter with the legal basis analysis for your application. So when the officer receives the application, they know what are your circumstances and why you qualify for that. So I do all of that so that your application isn't rejected. Hopefully no additional requests for evidence are sent, and so that it is processed as quickly as possible with a positive outcome.
But we have had people call us and say, can you speed it up? And we can't.
No, we can't.
There's nothing we can do to speed it up, but we try to make it as complete as possible so it
goes through
fast,
without
right?
any.
And there have been some studies that have shown that people who use an attorney are more likely to obtain approval than those who do not, right?
Yes, that's right, for the cases in which these studies were done, and those are mostly appeals.
So we have had many people tell us that their green card holding spouse or their sibling applied to sponsor them. What do people need to know about this as opposed to being sponsored by a U.S. citizen spouse or sibling?
There are many videos that we did before, and we always recommend people to become a U.S. citizen as soon as possible once they obtain their green card. And this is one of the reasons. If you sponsor your spouse as a U.S. citizen, the visa processing time is greatly reduced than if you're a green card holder.
And why is that?
Well, one of the reasons is that there are no limits to how many spouses of a U.S. citizens can be granted a visa every year.
But there are limits for green card holder spouses?
Yes. That is something that confused people. They know their I-130 was approved. That is because there is a limit of 226,000 for all family-sponsored preferences every year, per year. So plus there is also a per country limit yearly, and a dependent limit as well. So all of these limits may affect the time it takes for your application to be processed.
And then approved. Yeah. So what do you mean by family-sponsored preferences?
This seems complicated, but it isn't. We are going to look at the visa bulletin category. So I'm going to show you, this is a visa bulletin that you can find online. I'm going to put it closer to you here so you can see it. And this is it appears monthly. So I'm going to show you.
So the one we held up is March.
This is
2019, but the numbers we're giving you are from February because we're still in February.
That's right. But there on that bulletin, you will find 6 categories. So I'm going to show you. Oops. I have to keep it so you can see.
It's kind of backwards,
It is.
so
I hope
it's
you
tough
can
to hold
see it.
things up. Hopefully it's not switched, turned around, and not readable.
So there are 6 categories if you are not the spouse or minor or unmarried child of a U.S. citizen. And I'm going to put this down, but we'll put a link to this bulletin so you can find it online. The first category is F1, is unmarried sons and daughters, and this means over 18, of U.S. citizens. F2A is spouses and children of legal permanent residents, and F2B are unmarried sons and daughters, 21 and over, of permanent residents. Then there are F3, the F3 category, which are married sons and daughters of U.S. citizens. And finally, F4 are brothers and sisters of adult U.S. citizens.
So we want everyone to know it's not that the U.S. government is agonizingly slow. They're not the sloths from that movie in processing the applications. Zootopia, right? The sloths from
Yes.
Zootopia. But there are many people applying, and there's only so many openings every year.
That's right. So each category has a limit, and there are country limits as well.
And that is why when you look at the visa bulletin, and there's a part of it here, you
Yes.
must also determine what country the person is immigrating from, right?
Yes. So the visa bulletin is going to show you a few categories, and all those dates that you see, we'll talk about them really soon. So this is how you see the categories there.
And as you can see, some of the countries have different dates, right?
So they have all the countries. They separated this into all the countries, and then there are a few countries that are highlighted: China, India, Mexico, and Philippines. And it's probably because they receive a lot of applications from these countries. So then that's why they appear separately on the visa bulletin.
And the date that you talked about on there, what is that date called?
That date is your priority date. It's called priority date.
Okay, will you tell us what that means?
When your application, the I-130, was originally received by USCIS, they send you receipt in the mail, and that receipt is saying, we have received your application for this person at the date, and you see a date there. So that date that USCIS received your application is your priority date.
And then once your priority date shows up on the visa bulletin, do you get a notification about that?
Yes, and it takes a while, but when you do, when your priority date is up, you and whomever sponsored you, you will get a letter welcoming you to the NVC, National Visa Center, and they will give you a case number and an invoice number so you can go online and pay any fees necessary, and as well as to fill out any necessary forms to move on with your case.
And how soon after you get that letter do you have to do that online?
Well, I would do it as soon as possible, because if you leave that application pending for over a year, NVC will assume that you abandon your case and you don't want to move forward, and they will close your case.
Can you give us a quick example? Because we're getting this question repeatedly from the same people in the same groups, and so we just want everyone to understand. So if there is someone from India and their spouse is a green card holder, if we looked at February 2019's visa bulletin, what priority date is being processed right now?
So I'm going to try to show it to you again this way. So if you look at the visa bulletin, you can see that they are processing applications that were submitted on December 1st, 2016 for the F2A category, which is spouses and children of permanent residents coming from India.
And we tried to circle that in pink. Hopefully you can see that.
Yes.
And then if you're a brother or sister of someone from India,
then they would fall into the F4 category, and they are now processing applications with a priority date of June 22nd, 2004.
okay,
So
so
that is a long time.
I'm bad with math, but 2015 years, a little less than 15 years right now for that, right?
That's right.
Okay.
So thank you, all of you who have joined us today, and for all your shares and likes and comments. And if you have any questions, please reach out to us. We are always here to help, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.